It's Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
But always be strict about everything. Like anytime you mess up, like it's like the world ended. But like KO them, they way more chill, way more relaxed. Like whatever we gotta get fixed, we gonna fix it. We gonna keep rolling, bro. Like anybody say, hey, we gonna bounce back, like figure it out. The whole vibe, like everybody way more learn and just be the best us.
Amazing. Kris Boyd going on the All Things Covered podcast and saying what everyone else has hinted at over the last few months, and we had to cut out the first part of that because this is a radio-friendly show here. This is a kid-friendly show. And he said something about their you-know-what's being tight with the Mike Zimmer staff. But this is Feedback Friday. A little feedback from Kris Boyd to the old Vikings coaching staff, Mackey, Judd, Declan. This is Daily Vikings, not Vikings, I guess, Daily Minnesota Sports, entertainment, speculation, whatever you want. We're going to talk Vikings a lot here on Feedback Friday because you guys have a lot of messages through the Score North app and Twitter and YouTube pertaining to the Vikings. But what did you make of Kris Boyd lighting up the old Vikings coaching staff there?
I think he should keep it to himself. Like, I think if a veteran player who is established wants to do that, I think that's great. But I mean, and this guy had more credibility to do it. But when the Vikings transitioned from Tice to Chili in 2006, Fred Smoot, who had way more credibility than Kris Boyd, did the same exact thing. And then, of course, Childress instantly couldn't stand Fred Smoot. So in the case of Kris Boyd, look, dude, you know what? You're a special teams guy. You're not that great. I think he's really popular. Like, he talks a lot, and I think his teammates like him. But my suggestion for athletes on the par of a Kris Boyd's is do everything you can to impress your new coach. You don't have the credibility to rip on the former culture, even if you're right.
Totally disagree. I want Kris Boyd to now have a daily podium. I think. That's
fine.
In fact, if you know what, I'll tell you this: if Kris Boyd's NFL career is going to be a short one, there is a spot open for you on Purple Daily, on Score North. Kris Boyd, if you want to jump into media, we got you covered here on Score North. Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily. I love it.
I would just have advised him as a player, but you're right. For our purposes, go to town, guy.
Yes.
Go to town.
The funniest part of that whole thing was right at the beginning, and we had to cut the first part out just because we're going to play this on the radio and we get in trouble for one of the words he said. But who's the guy that hosts this? Usually Patrick Peterson this is Patrick Peterson's podcast with McFadden?
Bryant McFadden.
Brian McFadden. And he does a great job. And they do get stuff out of players and stuff because they're former players themselves. And so he asks Kris Boyd, hey, what do you think of the new coaching staff or, Kevin O'Connell, whatever? And Kris Boyd goes, can I say whatever I want on this show? Not in like a way that like Draymond Green would do it with full awareness of what I'm about to, like Draymond Green said that thing about Kevin Durant last week, that Steph Curry gets doubled 7 times more than Kevin Durant does or something. Like he knew that Durant was going to hear that. He knows exactly what he's doing. I don't know that Kris Boyd is media savvy enough to know that, what you're about to say, it's not just a safe space with your buddy McFadden here. This is going to go out on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and stuff. And if he said it knowing all those things, I love it even more. It just shows his hatred for the old coaching staff. And he's right. Did anything he say strike you as being wrong about the old coaching staff? That they were uptight and they overreacted to things, and
no,
Kevin O'Connell's bringing this cool, chill vibe. Hey, we're going to fix everything. Don't worry about it, guys. It's great.
For our purposes, it's fantastic. But if I was to advise Kris Boyd as his friend, I would say this: you're not good enough to bring that to the public light. But yes, go to town, dude. Say what you want. Like, I'm never going to tell, selfishly, I would never tell a player, hey, don't say that. But if he were to ask me as a friend, I would say, you probably, being Kris Boyd, you're going to be lucky to make this team playing special teams. So why don't you focus on the new staff, what you can do here.
So if you're Brian O'Neill and you're locked into a 5-year, multi-million-dollar contract, you can come out and say, yeah, the old coaching staff never made eye contact with me in the hallway. I would just a little bit more of a human interaction here.
Yes.
If you're Kris Boyd and you're on the fence of a 53-man roster, this might be the thing that gets you booted, is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, because O'Connell's going I think to say, well, if he'll say that about Mike, he might say, it's not a good idea for a player who is on probably the line of being cut. But Phil, I'm with you completely.
Kris Boyd live on
For
Score
Purple
North
Daily,
every
dude.
day.
If you want to join the show, you join the show. I love.
I need Kris Boyd's thoughts on Kirk Cousins next. Coming to a podcast near you.
Can I say what I think?
Everson Griffin might have already said it for
exactly
some of those players. So, all right, let's get into some of the comments here. You can always send us feedback through the Score North app, which, by the way, speaking of the Score North app, Purple Daily, a friend of Mackey and Judd. It's the same trio of people that also host a daily Viking show, in case you're unaware. Purple Daily is giving away a trip for two to see Minnesota and Miami in Week 6. It's the Purple Daily Getaway to Miami in Week 6. We'll cover the tickets. I've already seen the tickets, lower level, section 116. We'll cover the travel, and you got to cover your own face paint and your own, if you're going to buy a beverage or something, that's going to be on you to cover.
Take your own jersey.
We got the ticket for you. We got the travel for you. And all you have to do to enter all month long, open the Score North app or download it if you don't have it already. Register and enter through listener rewards. That's it. We're feeling generous here on Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily.
That easy, huh?
It's the Purple Daily Getaway to Miami. Let's get it, boys. And no, Judd, you're not eligible.
Yeah, you can't go.
Well, no, I should probably, being sports dad, chaperone.
I don't know if you want that smoke.
I
don't know if I... I'm trying to envision
chaperone.
Judd in South Beach with white linen pants chaperoning the things that are happening.
Just a thing of sunblock on the nose. Just the light sunblock on the nose.
All I'm saying is that I think I'd be an appropriate chaperone for the parties that do go.
One button undone, two unbutton undone. I don't know.
Yeah,
how many buttons, Judd.
Judd
in Miami?
Don Johnson look.
Yeah.
2 buttons undone, necklace.
Shave that chest down.
No.
Oh no, he lets it hang out.
Chest hair and
Oh, Miami, it might get a little hot. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Chest hair, not chest hair and play. A big medallion.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Three buttons unbuttoned.
So basically, what Jerry Buss looked like.
Jerry Buss looks like in
the Lakers
winning
show.
time. Yes, exactly right. Couldn't you see it?
I can, and I'm disturbed now, actually. I feel wildly uncomfortable. Jason, via the Score North app, says, I do leadership training and executive coaching, and a foundation of my work is a behavioral model based off 60 years of research. I get into people's dominant patterns of behavior, characteristics, strengths, weaknesses, needs for security, interaction preferences, etc. Stress triggers. It's legit. Anyway, though I agree with your take on the Kirk Cousins press conference, which was sort of weird and he was downplaying the offense and stuff, I think everybody probably needs to reset their expectations. Kirk's dominant pattern of behavior, or what we refer to as social style, is more analytical, which means slower paced, make efforts to organize and analyze, less concern for relationships, work in historical time frame, take action cautiously, and avoid personal involvement. So sort of a distant, almost introverted, analytical style.
Okay.
The need for security is to be right or accurate, which leads to slower decision-making, avoiding risk, and resisting emotion, spontaneity, and change. The needs are met through tasks versus relationships. The three of you have a model in your head of what a leader should look like. Passionate, confident, engaging, collaborative. That's just not Kirk. It is what it is. Wow. I love that we have
that's awesome.
Executive leadership coaches like Jason giving us the inside scoop here. It's great.
And I totally buy that. Like, that's great. And I'm sure that description for a certain personality type is 1,000% right. But if you ask me right now, independent of what you just read, to sit down and write a description of a guy I don't want at QB for my team, a lot of those buzzwords would be on my sheet of paper.
Yeah.
Slower
decision making. And he's a great first read quarterback, and then the analytics show that once you get to like second, third read improvisation, it starts to get really bad for you.
You just described a person who sounds like they take a lunch break Monday through Friday.
What's wrong with eating lunch?
Yeah,
like
I eat lunch every day.
No,
you don't take lunch breaks?
No, I'm saying you just described a person who sounds like a 9 to 5-er. like a
Oh.
corporate person.
Like very structured.
It's very structured. I'm good at
I
what
eat lunch
do.
at pretty much the same time
I
every
might
day.
make a lot of money. My point is
most part, I
Kirk's
do too.
work day is basically on Sunday, and it's 3 hours of huge stress and quick decisions. You sound like a person who works a 9 to 5, probably very successful, but a 9 to 5 job.
I think he kind of nailed it with the. And it's not that you can't be successful with. Obviously, he's made $250 million playing football or whatever it is in his life, and maybe not that much, but like $200 million playing football, and he's one of the top 15 or 16 quarterbacks in the world. And I think leaning into this structure and this part of his personality has helped him maximize whatever he was supposed to be as a quarterback. You can't say that Kirk Cousins hasn't maximized Kirk Cousins, right? From a financial standpoint, physical standpoint, etc. But I don't know that you can win a Super Bowl making as much money as he does without some spontaneity, without some more, I think, humanized, extroverted personality qualities. Very interesting. I think, Jason, I feel like anytime you want to chime in with some observations like this, you're welcome to hit the show up. Okay, Steve Azenbray via the Score North app says Ron Johnson, former Gopher and NFL wide receiver, on his podcast brought up an interesting point. If Cousins was making more like $20 million a year, would you view him a little differently? He feels a lot of the criticism at Cousins is because of his salary. Yes. That is correct.
Haven't we brought that up on this show for
Are people just having this realization for the first
3
time?
years?
That the value of a player's contract matters in salary cap leagues. Of course it would make a big difference.
We've said exactly that for like 3 years. We've said exactly that. We've said if his contract was less, we would not be as harsh because there'd be more room to improve. And actually, I think the next step is he would probably be in a position to be more successful in terms of wins and losses because you could build a better team potentially around him, i.e. right guard, center. Yeah, I don't think this is no offense to Ron, but I don't think that he stumbled upon an unknown topic.
I love that people are having this realization. I think some people use this as they use the salary to weaponize their stance for Kirk too, that you're just jealous of his money, or you're just, but money matters in a salary cap league, especially in a hard cap league. In the NBA, it's a soft cap, and so you can go into the luxury tax and stuff, right? Baseball doesn't have a salary cap. But in football, it matters. And you can do some certain smoke and mirrors tricks with the cap, like Rob Brzezinski does. He's brilliant at it. But yeah, if you could give me Kirk Cousins and an extra, $15 million a year in salary cap room to go sign one or two more impact players, yes, that would be an amazing boost to the Vikings' chances to win. Will Bensing via the Score North app says, I'm becoming very frustrated with fellow Twins fans this season. Seems like there's two groups. One group of fans who follow the Bally Sports North approach and never criticize the team regardless of what they do. The second group is a cynical and always negative, always hate group and can't appreciate players for who they are. He's talking about the Judd group there, I think.
Yeah.
I wish more fans followed the Score North approach. Okay. And viewed the team through the lens of reality. However, when I shared a Score North podcast in the Twins fan group on Facebook, I got mocked and then banned from the group. What Facebook group was it?
It was led by D. Bramer.
Oh my God.
Man.
Oh, God.
I'm blocked
By the
by
way,
D. Bramer.
old D. Bramer probably wanted to crawl out of the booth when Jim Cott yesterday referred to, was it Nestor the Molester or whatever it was?
Nestor the Molester,
which if you're 83 years old, molesting just means
it's not the exactly.
Something
That's
else.
2 consecutive years now that Jim has gone on a telecast and said a regrettable line.
Come on, Kitty.
That
I love Jim, but man,
he didn't know was offensive in 2021 or 22.
The average age of the Twins broadcast booth yesterday on TV was 75. trying to connect with those young fans.
I'm going to tell you right.
Can we just get someone who's not 83 in the booth? I love Jim Cobb, but come on.
I'm going to tell you right now. I have found my solution to the fact that the pace of play and baseball can take too long, at least for road games. Radio. I get stuff done. Do
Provis
some
is the
yard
man, too.
work.
Yeah.
And it actually was Gladdy and Lodge because
from Target
Provis
Field.
and Kris both have COVID in Detroit, poor guys. But I've found that I can. The nice thing is this, and I know that Dan takes some hits for his play-by-play or lack thereof. But you know what? When Daz Cameron hit the home run, right? Guess what Gladden did? He got excited.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the old, there's a long
Fly
drive,
ball to left field.
Yeah,
You're talking
or,
about Dick. So Dick's a little gun shy. I think what happened was the Bramergasm became a real thing, and people would, 5 years ago, every medium depth fly ball was there's a fly ball. Like, he would break a little early,
right?
And I think Dick, who has rabbit ears and definitely is he blocked me on Twitter for something I didn't even tag him in.
We had him on as a guest,
and then
both you guys were blocked.
I know. I don't even know if he remembered that he blocked me. He probably did, actually, because then during the game he sent me a DM with some expletives talking about how I'm a bleepster, which I guess I am. But anyhow, I think he's a little gun shy. I think he's been holding back on home run calls.
It's hard. I did play-by-play with the Saints and at St. Cloud, and it's difficult. Like, it is difficult to read a fly ball. It really is. No matter how long you've been doing it, it's really, really tough. The beauty of on the radio side is the people are listening to you, so you can kind of sell and you can wait. You don't have to get necessarily that excited, even if they hear the crack of the bat. But on TV, obviously, we can all see it, so it's much more prone to criticism. But I mean, you would think for how long he's been doing it, that he would eventually get a little bit more awareness of what is going to be a bomb and what's not going to be a bomb.
But the Bally's playbook is if the opposing team does something good, act like you just saw your dog shot. There's a fly ball by Cameron. It's deep. It's a home run. Like Glenn got excited. It's like I want my play-by-play guy to at least get appropriately excited to the moment. I don't care who does what. There's a shot by the Jets, and it's a goal. The Jets win Game 7.
Line A scores.
Overtime.
I don't need the home announcer going crazy
but I need some enthusiasm.
I don't know. I think it's kind of funny when
you didn't just
when the
see your
home team,
dog
when
get
LaPanta
its
gets
head
depressed
chopped off in front of you. Come on.
All right, next comment here. This one's actually from an anonymous texter that asked a hilarious question that I want to bring to the show.
Nice.
What would the Twins' final record be if Patrick Royce started every remaining game in center field? So you have to put Patrick Royce. What's Pat now? 77?
Yeah.
76? I think he's going to be 77 last year.
Yeah, I think that's right.
You have to put Patrick Royce, 76 years old, in center field, and then build the rest of your defensive alignment and lineup around the fact that he is, and you can't pinch hit or pinch field for him until the seventh inning or later.
Can Buxton play left
Yes.
or right?
Yes.
They don't win a game. They don't win a single game.
So let's take it 162 game season, and Patrick is the starting center fielder. How many wins do the Twins?
They don't win a single game.
A single game, dude? That's ridiculous. They win games.
Yeah, because your pitcher's going to have a great night, and Buxton's going to catch balls that Pat. I mean, Buxton probably can cover almost all of the territory Pat can't get to. Now, Pat won't get a hit, but I do think that they win a few.
You would essentially be playing with 8. You'd have 2 outfielders, right?
Yeah,
or
and
3
it's an automatic out in the order. It's an automatic out in the order when you're batting too. Don't forget just the batting. They wouldn't win a single game.
Oh,
that's wrong. That's wrong.
No, they wouldn't win a single game.
You think one player in the lineup would shipwreck you to the point where you'd go 0-162? I don't know.
Yes,
man.
I'll put them on 5 to 8 wins.
What?
5 to 8 wins.
This is absurd. They would win at least 20 or 30 games.
Wow.
Maybe more than that.
20 or 30.
One player?
Interesting.
Yeah, they wouldn't win a single game.
160. You don't think
in center field? Yeah, no, you would not win a single game.
Explain how they wouldn't win games. So the 8 other hitters in their lineup go off for 9 runs in a game. You're saying that they're going to give up because they're missing one fielder. They're going to give up 10 runs in every game.
They're going to give up runs almost every inning. Yes, they're going to give up runs almost in every inning.
But Buxton can catch balls that Pat can't.
Correct.
I don't think they win a single game.
Oh, I think they definitely win games.
We should put this on
I
social.
wouldn't go 30, but I would go. I'd say that they'd win at least 8. I mean, they're going to get good pitching performances too.
For sure. Yeah. You're
So-
telling me Sonny
Now,
Gray and
now, if
hitters
you had
can't just
better
hit the ball to
pitching-
center field on command.
Where I disagree with you, Phil, is I think if the pitching was better, it's more like 15 to 20, but the pitching's not. And by the way,
I think it might be more than 20 or 30. I honestly think it's still like a 50-win team.
with the Yankees, if you put them in center field for the Yankees with that pitching, far more likely.
Would Pat draw any? Pat would draw a couple walks too, probably. Like there'd just be some wild pitcher out there. The problem is if he's on first base, and Buxton's batting behind him or
What's
something.
the question again?
Okay, so
what's
the
How many
Hold on.
wins would the Twins have in a
Yep.
162 game season
Yep.
if Patrick Royce had to be the starting center fielder and you couldn't pinch it for him until late in the game?
So the
7th inning or late.
2003 Tigers won 43 games. Remember, 43 games, they lost 119.
Yeah, because the whole team was crappy. The whole
Right.
team was crappy.
And you're saying they could win 25 or 30 games.
Because the
Patrick
rest of the
Royce.
team is
30 to
a
40.
good team. Yes, let's put this out on social.
The rest of this
Put it on the
team
poll,
is not.
Guillermo.
I don't think they are. I wouldn't call them a good team. This Twins
Okay,
team's not
guy,
a-
they're in first place.
This dude. Look at the division.
We already argued about this yesterday.
Yes, I don't
We're
want to
not doing
argue
this
about
again.
it more. The division
Ross Brendel
sucks.
talked my ear off today about it.
Does he agree
Just-
with me or Judd?
He literally told me
hates
he
this
has
team.
never hated a team more.
What?
He
Ross
literally
hates this team.
hates the Twins. He is. He said no other team has pissed him off more. They're in first place.
I feel that way about the Twins as a whole the last 20 years.
Last year I was pissed. Last
This
year,
is the
This
I
team's
was
kind of
pissed.
fun, man. They got Carlos Correa. They got Royce Lewis. Like Royce Lewis is one of the most likable players in Minnesota sports.
Yeah, and Buxton's great too.
Mm-hmm.
But this team is a mirage, and this division is terrible. And here's the thing too that we're not addressing: Sonny Gray can't stay healthy.
Well, that's
It's
what
kind
we're
of
gonna
that's been a thing throughout his career for sure.
That's a very big deal. That's going to bite them right in the ass.
Yeah, he's not a 200 inning guy. But if he can be available, I think late in the season, if he can be available, that's the thing. Who's available
I know,
at the end.
But now again, you're saying if he can, not you think he can.
But you keep saying the division's terrible.
It is
Yes.
awful.
So, why are they going to all of a sudden be 10 games back of any team in this division? They're not.
No, but it's a complete mirage. That's your problem. You're not going to beat anybody. Do you want playoff wins?
Yes. If you trade for Frankie Montas, you have one of the best playoff rotations in the
if
American
you trade
League.
for Montaz, my opinion changes probably. But right now you're not, and I have nothing to back up the fact that you're going to.
If you want the rest of this argument, find yesterday's episode of Mackey and Judd.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle Lindstad via the Score North app says, love the show. Been listening since the 1500 ESPN days. Thank you, Kyle. Can you guys bring back the Twin Show with Jake Depew? I'm on a daily text thread with Jake, just riding the Twins roller coaster. It's hilarious. Keep doing more movie reviews. They're awesome. We got Top Gun Maverick coming up today. So on the subject of a Twin Show, we don't have a big staff here. When we started the Score North Twin Show, we literally had 10 people on staff, and we had 8 hours of radio and podcasting and stuff, and we had Rami and Collar and Wetmore and all these guys. So we've just, we focus on Mackey and Judd and Purple Daily, and then by extension, Judd's Hockey Show and the Scoop with Doogie and Royce and stuff. So right now we're talking Twins on a near daily basis on Mackey and Judd. If they are still relevant, and if they prove Judd wrong, basically in 3 months, we'll probably do something more. But we will keep talking Twins on a regular basis on Mackey and Judd. We just don't want to spread ourselves too thin by having 10 different podcasts with 3 people. So, and maybe we'll bring Jake back too. He's the most passionate ride the roller coaster Twins fan that we know. It's hilarious. Jamie K via the Score North app says, love the show. Top 2 sports talk show on YouTube. I'd love to know what the other one is. I know you teased actually talking about the stunning promo that MJF dropped on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, but I'd really love to hear you guys break it down. I think MJF is the best promo guy in the business. Judd, to what extent do you know what Jamie is talking about here?
I actually watched that whole thing. It was great. So I'll throw out an observation from my end about this, and I'd be curious what you guys have to say. So like in my day, back in the day, the wrestlers were all big, huge men, and they were good on the mic, but part of it was predicated on, were they intimidating looking people? MJF, and who's the guy who's the big hockey fan too?
Chris Jericho.
Jericho.
Because he's not that big, right? There's somebody who's not.
You're talking about Punk?
CM Punk?
Punk. So those guys are both like, they're built. I'm not saying that they're not built, but they're not huge guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like the ability to cut a promo and be good on the mic now is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty damn funny. Like,
Dude.
It's really good. But that whole thing was great. But I see now it's being referred to as it was an inside job. It was not as spontaneous as some people thought.
I love the Judd's in on this
Right?
now. This is great.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
So
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's
I
interesting.
listened to it was so riveting. I've been watching wrestling for 30 plus years. I'm 37 years old. I remember watching WrestleMania in 1990, and I've been watching ever since.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the 3 best promos I have ever seen. I think this one, CM Punk's pipe bomb 10 years ago, and Stone Cold
watched.
Steve Austin's Austin 316 promo.
With
Jake the Snake Roberts, you thump your Bible, you talk about your Psalms and your John 3:16s. Well, Austin 3:16 just whooped your ass, totally off the cuff. It was amazing. But the best part about all of these was there's an element of reality to them, that there's some behind the scenes strife,
Yeah.
and it's spilling over, and they're telling the truth about things, but you don't know if they're in on it together. So he was legitimately upset about his contract situation because he's signed for 2 more years and not making nearly as much money as other people. And so I think they just told him, all right, dude, I don't know if they reached a new deal or not, but they said, here's a microphone, go tear it up, say what's on your mind. And he did, and it was amazing. If you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it.
And to your point, Judd, the brawny wrestlers and the big guys back in the day when you were a kid or when you were younger, it was in the mid 90s that WWF at the time changed that attitude era, and it became less about the big, burly, strong dudes and was how good can you talk in the microphone. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, by the time he hit his peak, really couldn't move and wrestle that much. He had a horrible neck, and he broke his neck on a pile driver. And knees were just shot. So all he could do is really cut an amazing promo and really only work 5 or 6 matches a year. And it became that became the new thing. Was on the John Cena to the degree. The Rock basically built a movie stardom because of how he could talk on the microphone. So it is kind of crazy that is still the main thing. That is the most important thing outside of your ring wrestling ability.
And it's work and shoot, correct?
So a shoot is real.
Right.
A work is scripted.
And was this a work in your opinion?
It was a worked shoot, I think, which means
interesting.
Go out there and tell the truth and break the fourth wall. But we're all kind of in on it together. Now, the best part about this is they're still keeping it sort of shrouded in mystery. AEW deleted and removed all of the clips from that promo from their social media. They removed MJF from the merchandise store of their website, and they removed him from their active roster on their website. Okay. If this was a full-on work in normal wrestling terms, you would want that clip being shared millions of times across social media. And they're going out of their way to even other people who have shared that clip, they're going through and removing it for copyright reasons, which makes you think maybe they didn't want him saying all those things on the microphone. So are they pulling a genius reverse psychology thing here? And that's the best part. Tony Khan is the son of Shad Khan. Shad Khan runs the most dysfunctional, ridiculous franchise in professional sports, the Jaguars. Tony Khan runs the most innovative, on the rise, fastest growing wrestling company. How can one of these guys be this innovative and the other guy be this much of a bumbling idiot? I don't know. But props to Tony Khan for creating something that is must-watch TV now next Wednesday. Yeah, right. MJF, man. So there's your Feedback Friday here on Mackey and Judd, presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for over 100 years, helping businesses maximize their success. And Federated has all sorts of tools and resources for you when it comes to risk management, and their corporate culture is grounded in equity, integrity, teamwork, and respect. You know that these 4 cornerstones create the foundation for everything they do extended into your business. So find out more at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. We're going to get to an action movie rewind on the podcast feed and YouTube channel also before the day is over, full of spoilers for Top Gun Maverick. So check that out. It'll be a separate episode, so you won't stumble into spoilers unless you click play on it. But we got a lot to say about that movie. We'll see you guys later, Mackey and Judd.